The 2026 NFL Draft looks to be yet another year where it's not very strong at the quarterback position. Through the first 3 weeks of college football, we haven't really gotten to see any of the presumed top guys play at an NFL level, and it has led to many to worry about the class as a whole. But there is one guy who has remained a constant in this class, and while he has gone up against weaker opponents, looks to be a player who could shoot up draft boards and potentially be the top quarterback off the board, and that player is Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza was a player who I really liked during the summer, but was handed a pretty bad hand at Cal last year. Today, we're going to be talking about what makes Mendoza a great quarterback and why I think he is a first-round caliber signal caller come April. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out and lets me know you guys are enjoying the videos. Also, comment down below which players you guys want to see me talk about in a future episode, but without further ado, let's take a closer look at Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza has a really interesting background. Mendoza is the son of Cuban immigrants and grew up in Miami. Initially, Mendoza was committed to Yale and also had offers on the table from Penn as well, so you know he's incredibly smart. He ended up flipping his commitment from Yale to Cal, which is not an easy school to get into either, and he spent the first 2 years of his career with the Golden Bears. In 2024, Mendoza had a pretty solid season, finishing with 3,004 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions on a 67.9 completion percentage. The Cal offensive line was abysmal, they had no receiver help, and they really couldn't establish the run game, and he ended up transferring to Indiana this offseason. Of all the quarterback movement in the country, I don't think enough people talked about this move for the Hoosiers, and through 3 weeks, it looks like it's paying dividends. Mendoza has 708 yards, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and is completing 70.5% of his passes. He has a big test against Illinois this weekend, but the vibes are very good in Bloomington right now. I think the biggest strength in Mendoza's game is his ability to operate out of quick game. As a young quarterback, he already can make NFL level throws, and I think he's an NFL level decision maker. He is so good out of RPOs and getting the ball out of his hand really quickly. The ball flies off his hands, and he's really good at throwing those quick outs to the sidelines or operating the middle of the field in RPO situations. Indiana has done a really good job of playing into those strengths through the first few weeks of the season and allowing him to play in control of their offense, and he is absolutely thriving in that role. Mendoza also has excellent arm talent and has the ability to throw the ball to all 3 levels of the field. His deep ball is absolutely beautiful, but I think he is at his best once again when he is working the middle. The 10 to 15 yard comebacks or the seam shots up the middle is where Mendoza has absolutely thrived in college. It's not that he just has the arm talent though. His ability to layer throws and his ball placement I think is borderline elite, and I don't like to throw that term around lightly. He can thread the ball into the narrowest of windows on one play, and he's got a good fastball, and then on the very next drop back, he's got the ability to just float it right into the receiver's hands. He's really good at throwing back shoulder fades, and I think this is a quarterback that can throw just about any ball you want him to. But he's also really accurate with the football. His adjusted completion percentage over his career is close to 75%, which is a pretty good number, but through 3 games for the Hoosiers, Mendoza is above 80% in terms of his adjusted completion. Having an accurate quarterback with his type of arm talent is absolutely going to get him taken very highly in the draft. Athletically, I think Mendoza is better than he gets credit for. For one thing, he has the ideal size you are looking for in a starting NFL quarterback. He is listed at 6'5", 225 pounds, and obviously has the big frame and arm talent you're looking for. He's not a superstar athlete, not in the slightest, but I do think he can be a threat as a scrambler, and you can use him on RPOs. He's pretty tough as a runner, and while he doesn't have the greatest speed in the world, I think he is a more than capable rushing threat if he needs to be. The other area I really like about Mendoza is his overall toughness. In 2024 at Cal, Mendoza was pressured on 156 out of his 460 dropbacks, but I thought overall he did a really good job of evading the rush. He is excellent at throwing on the move, but I think he's really tough at standing in the pocket and taking hits. He was able to make really good throws with pressure in his face time and time again, and was still able to deliver dimes. I will say, it's not perfect, and he is a player who I feel like once pressure comes, can get a little panicked at times, and I do think that's where his bad decision making can come in. Mendoza throws off his back foot way more than I think is ideal for any quarterback, and I think he tries to play hero ball too often. 25.6% of the pressures on him last year resulted in a sack. I think he has to be willing to throw the ball away at times, take what the defense has given him, and not just run around for his life. And I think he's gotten better at that, but there is still things he needs to improve upon. I'd say the same thing about Mendoza's processing. There are moments in there when Mendoza looks really good. He's able to progress through his reads, work from left to right, and make good throws. However, Mendoza is a quarterback who I feel like gets caught staring way too much than you'd like to see, and it gives defenders the opportunity to make plays on the ball. Because he stares, I think he often will try to force the football into tight windows where there really isn't an opportunity to make a play. I want to see him do a better job of scanning the field more consistently, because when he does, he shows the ability to be a very good quarterback, and so far at Indiana, we have seen him make those improvements, but right now I think those instances are still very inconsistent. Fernando Mendoza is a player who I really like in this draft class. He is a smart quarterback with a big arm, accuracy, and above average athleticism that I think makes him at least respectable on designed runs. I love his ability to get the ball out of his hand quickly and how quick of a decision maker he really is. While he has played weaker opponents through the first 3 weeks, Mendoza looks very comfortable and confident for the Hoosiers. I currently have Mendoza as my QB2 in the draft class, but there are a lot of intangibles that he brings, and if he continues to play at this level, getting into Big Ten play, don't be surprised if he is the consensus top quarterback in the class. In terms of a scheme fit, I think it's pretty simple. Mendoza is a more traditional pocket passer in nature, but with his ability to make quick decisions out of RPOs and at times take off and run with it, I would love to see an NFL team really tap into that at the next level. I think he could be a really good quarterback in an RPO scheme. My player comparison for Fernando Mendoza is Detroit Lions quarterback Jared Goff. Goff, another former Cal quarterback, has a lot of the things I love about Mendoza: a big-time arm, accuracy, the ability to make quick reads and get the ball out of your hand, size, and plus mobility. I see a ton of similarities in the way the two play the position, and I think Mendoza can be very similar to what Goff has been in the NFL, which is a top 10 to 14 quarterback in the league every year. Fernando Mendoza is the Cuban missile. He checks so many boxes you look for at the quarterback position, and I still think his best football is ahead of him. He's a really smart quarterback, and ultimately, I believe that Fernando Mendoza will be a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft.